Last question by Jay. Jay asks, PPR, what order do you rank these guys? Chubb, Aaron Jones, Ekeler. I'm going number 1, Aaron Jones, number 2, Nick Chubb, and number 3, Austin Ekeler. Way lower.
Who,
He
by the
said
way,
PPR.
posted on Twitter something about if you win with him on your team, you send him a screenshot of your winning score and that you could possibly win a signed jersey. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, I have to
That's
say.
definitely the topic I want to talk about. Let's go to my topic. Fantasy football emotions. I definitely want to talk about. So this is going to be one of the main topics today. So I want to talk about. We got a picture of Austin Eckler. Let's talk about him. So
Yeah.
Austin Eckler. Let's go out of order here, but yeah, Austin Eckler. I think a lot of people want to root for him, and I always say is I have an advantage, or not really an advantage, but a perk of getting to talk to you guys, and I like listening to you guys. And sometimes you guys say horrible things that make no sense, and sometimes you guys talk some sense into me, and I really am proud of myself for actually listening to you guys, and it really gives me it really helps me out when I come up with content, and also when I'm picking my DFS picks, because I know what the people's thinking. And that's something that professional fantasy football players actually hire a team. Sometimes they only hire one guy, but like a full-time guy, or some have a staff to hire and go look, oh, who's going to be contrarian, what are these podcasts talking about? Who's thinking what? So I can go get a sleeper pick, a contrarian pick in DFS right at the top of the tournament. And it seems like everyone likes Austin Eckler, the human. And now he's doing this giveaway. I think it's with ESPN or something. If you draft him and you play him week 1 and you win and you tweet it, there's like a long list of rules to do it. You get to possibly win a signed jersey, which is all cool and everything. But that just came out while I was thinking about this. And it's like, I think Austin Eckler is a guy that people just like and people romanticize about. And I think that's why his ADP is so high. I'm thinking he's more of a round 3 guy. The most he's got is 11.6 carries. People say he was great last year, but I mean, he really wasn't. He averaged, man, I don't want to misquote it, but it was about 10 find out how many yards per reception he averaged his big year, which was 2019. It was like 11 yards or something, 10.6, something like that. We'll get an exact number in a second. About 10.6 yards of reception. I mean, he had a ton of big plays. He had a ton of catches, and I just don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to be consistent. I don't think he's going to be healthy the whole year. I don't think he's going to be a workhorse. So I think he's going a little bit earlier because people like him and want to root for him. Now, a guy that people hate, including myself, is Josh
Do you want
Jacobs.
do
Yeah,
you
how
want
many?
some information here? So in his big year, that's probably what, 2019?
Yeah,
His yards per reception was 10.8.
that's pretty high. And that number dropped down, by the way, the next year.
Yeah, to 7.5.
Yeah.
He started his career 10.3, 17, 2018, 10.4, 2019 was 10.8, and then last year was 7.5.
But
And
how did
that's yards per reception.
Anthony Lynn hold him back? Like, that's what I want to say. Anthony Lynn held him back, but how? I mean, because he couldn't catch the ball and run big distances. I don't know. To me, he's a big play guy, and he's not going to get enough carries. I'd rather get Najee Harris or Antonio Gibson, who might, fit the workhorse mold better. Let's go to bring a picture of Josh Jacobs. Now, here's a guy that's being hated on, and
By us
now,
sometimes.
oh yeah, I'm very guilty of this. I got to
It's
check
fun though.
myself. I mean, he made a post last year. He tricked fantasy owners. He, and they didn't like it. He's like, I'm not playing. And then he played. He's like, just kidding. And he put up the middle finger directly to fantasy owners. And he was a disappointment last year. So it's like a double. He did two things that hurt the fantasy owners. And I don't know. I think he's being underdrafted. And what's kind of crazy about Josh Jacobs, I'm finding out people that have been reaching for him are either Raider fans or living in Las Vegas. Now, my sample size has been two guys that have done that. But let me know, anyone who's drafted Josh Jacobs or has somebody in their league that's drafted Josh Jacobs round 2, describe this fantasy owner to me. Do they live in Vegas? Do they live in Oakland? Do they live in LA? Huge Raider places. Are they Raider fans? Let me know, because in some leagues, this guy's actually fallen to round 5 or 6, and I think that's money. So
I'd consider trading for him, especially like in a dynasty league, if the value is right there. Especially if you're trying to win now. I think he could take off, depending on, if Drake plays a lot, if he just really takes control of that backfield. There's a lot of factors, obviously, but
he's like
you want another picture?
He's like a poor man's Nick Chubb. Like, he's not like he's
Pretty
I
poor
don't think he's gonna be that. Yeah,
compared to
very
Chubb.
poor. But because Nick Chubb's an incredible runner.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about the stats. I think still, if you get him for in round 5 or round 6, and now I'm even thinking of taking him round 4, but that's just one of my rounds where I can get so many other guys. I'd rather go tight end probably, and if Mahomes is there, I'd rather go Mahomes. Somehow he falls. But all I'm saying is Josh Jacobs is probably being drafted way too low. If he does fall to round 5 or 6, take him. I'm even throwing round 4 out there because of this ETN injury. Like, these things spiral. They have a chain reaction. Is they don't just RBs just don't move up. Like, if Josh Jacobs ADP is 4.8, like, it shouldn't just go up to 4.07. There's a lot going on there. People are going to be really desperate for running backs. Another guy I wanted to talk about is AJ Dillon. And I don't know why he's going so low, but I think it's because just how he was such a huge sleeper last year for everybody, and he disappointed. And when he had that huge game, he was on people's benches. There is a real reason. Yeah, you're thinking, okay, in PPR, he's not going to be that good. But I mean, we're talking round 9 here. In round 9, what running back are you going to get? What top 2 Matt LaFleur running back is there in round 9? There's not anybody close. Like, the Couch League draft, Drew and I drafted Michael Carter and Trey Sermon right next to each other in round 7. And this guy's going like 2 rounds after that. So who else is there? There's nobody even in his vicinity.
That's like Devin Singletary territory. It's terrible.
Exactly. I saw Zach Moss go round 9 the other day. Like, come on, bro. He doing that. Even if he is the starting running back on the Bills, running backs don't score any points on that team. They don't do anything.
Unless you're Josh Allen.
It's all Josh Allen and 3 or 4 wide receivers. Any given wide receiver. Okay, go to the draft board. I got Saquon Barkley in.
You want me to go
up? Yeah, go up, and down. Yeah.
Sorry,
I got
guys.
Saquon Barkley the other day, 13 overall, and man, you guys tell me why.
That was crazy.
Yeah, you guys tell me why all this hate with Saquon Barkley. So news came out today that he's cutting well, he's doing well, and look, I've seen this before. I've seen it when Germ drafted Adrian Peterson with the it was 12th or 13th overall with the back-to-back picks. And we all made fun of him, and Adrian Peterson came 8 yards shy of breaking a record. He had like 2,000 something rushing yards. It was insane. And I just know that this is happening again. I'm going with my gut. But regardless of whatever you think, like,
he had 2,097 yards that year.
Yeah, it was just insane. Like, and no one's bringing that up. Like, we're talking about a freak athlete, generational talent. Like, this is Saquon Barkley. That stuff matters. If you're weak, like, if you like, just look at Saquon. Like, look at how athletic he looks. Like, if you're weak, like, you heal you heal slower, and your knees heal slower, and it's just worse. But I think a guy like Saquon could bounce back. But regardless, like even if you don't like it, guys, 13, that's where he's going now. 13 is still pretty late. Like even
Don't
if you
make me bring
hate
that
him,
comment back up. Seriously, even the Eagles fan said that. Sheesh.
I'm not as high as Barkley. Okay, so this is to my point. Like I get the worry. Like, don't get me wrong. I get the floor, but 13, come on. So Eagles fan Tom says, I'm not as high on Barkley this year, but at 13, this is crazy value and a great pick. That's exactly where he's going. So AJ Dillon just had a draft. They did the annual sleeper bowl thing, and AJ Dillon's doing a draft with a lot of the top names in the industry. They don't invite me for some reason. I know, it's all good. It's fine. It's fine. It's all good. But Saquon Barkley, Scott Fish, head of the Scott Fish Bowl, he took Saquon Barkley at 12 as well in 12-team league. So he got him at the same spot, 13th
I
pick. So he
can't
went.
believe he's fallen that far. It's insane.
Yeah, it's just, it's just going like, look, if you want Zeke over Saquon, I'm not going to say anything. That's fine. So if you go Zeke in 5, but once we're in the 9, 10, 11 range, like how do you pass up on say you guys are that scared of a generational talent? Why aren't you scared of CMC? Like, didn't he screw you over last year? You're not scared of CMC though. Oh, they're downplaying this injury, guys. Come on, like you got to see through it. Don't be scared. Now, don't draft if you're don't draft Saquon Barkley in 100% of your leagues. Don't do that. All right. Are we gonna read that comment or not? You putting comments up with this opinion. Eli G. See, I'm a huge fan of Zeke this year, which is why I took him at 5. If I had pick 6, he would be my pick. Talking about Saquon. That's totally fine. Zeke with Dak, you can't really go if Dak's healthy, you can't really go wrong with Zeke. Like, I have worries about Zeke too, but they're not that big. And like I said, if Dak's healthy, Zeke's gonna be just fine. He's gonna be great. Who else we got? Oh, Antonio Brown. I think his antics on the Raiders and all he's done. I think Antonio Brown, I think his value is so low. I feel like he's just as good as Godwin and Evans, and the stats show that he's not really far behind once he got acclimated. So I don't know why Antonio Brown's going so low, other than what I just said. Like, people are worried about that stuff, but all that stuff is baked into his round 8 ADP.